Among the most powerful modifiers found within Blender, and really a modifier that's found in a lot of 3D software, is the subdivision surface modifier. Now, it presents itself in a lot of different ways depending on which software you're in, but Blender allows you to use subdivision surfacing steps, process, in a few different ways. I bet you're getting tired of me saying that so far, is there's so many different ways to get the same thing done in Blender. This one has similar results, but a little bit different value. So let me show you what I mean by that. In edit mode, in any object, we can right-click and subdivide. Right-click, subdivide, right-click, subdivide, and it'll continue to break down our polygons, our rectangles, into smaller versions of themselves, creating more geometry, more detail, and really more value in the shape. However, there is a modifier that is non-destructive. This subdivide that we use a right click on the object to make new polys is destructive. It's actually doing those cuts, and these polys actually exist. Let me show you what I mean. I can select this polygon and I can move that exact polygon wherever I want it to be. This is still a polygon base instead of a subdivide or mesh shape. So that's option one. It's great to use that for when you need more polygon, more geometry. Option two, the one that we're going to show today and we're going to use for a lot of character modeling, is adding a modifier that is a subdivision surface. So a subdivision surface, which we've used in a previous video, it is going to make a more detailed mesh, but it's also going to kind of smooth those surfaces. So what it's actually doing is it's trying to make a curve between these points, a curve between these points and these points, and that's resulting in that kind of like circular shape, right? So you can kind of see it interpolating between those points. Pretty cool stuff. The subdivision process can be scaled semi-dynamically, meaning I can increase the amount of subdivisions that occur. How many polygons is it creating to intend to reach that curve? So with that levels viewport and render turned up, not only will I see a lot of polygons in my viewport, but if I hit the render key, I get a really nice, smoothly divided sphere. So subdivision surface modifier is how we get that done. Now, if this isn't here, you want a bit of a hotkey. Control 1 with your object selected. You got to be in object mode. But Control 1 will put that subdivision surface modifier on your cube right away. A few other points of order. When you're in object mode, you are only seeing the end result of your subdivision surface, meaning I'm not seeing that lattice that allows me to kind of control this object. I have to be in edit mode for that. And when I am in edit mode, notice that I've got points, edges, and faces just like I did before, but those points, edges, and faces are controlling that more detailed, that denser polygon mesh. Meaning I can't just grab this face that I see in front of me here anymore, right? It doesn't actually, in a way, exist as editable geometry. The geometry is this cube, and it is that subdivided surface that is the result of that modifier. So, long way of me setting up this next statement. If I want to get access to those polygons there, I'm going to have to apply this subdivision surface modifier. So I'd go back into object mode, I'd click my drop down arrow, and I'd click apply. Doing that will flatten that subdivision surface modifier, and I actually can go back into edit mode by using the drop down, or as you'll start seeing me use more and more now that we're getting familiar with Blender, I can hit the tab button to tab between object mode and edit mode. Very convenient. Now that it's flattened, I can access all of these polygons. We're back to a polygon flattened shape. And guess what? I can go back into object mode, hit tab, hit Control 1 once again, and I can get another layer of subdivision surface. So now when I go back into edit mode, tab for edit, I now have a slightly more evolved lattice or matrix to control that subdivision surface. So hopefully you see what's happening here. we will use the subdivision surface modifier to take a simple cube and get it into more of a sphere shape, one that has a little bit more geometry for us to work with, and use it to kind of get better control handles with which to deform our shape from time to time. Yeah. One last bit. Right-clicking, in object mode, right-clicking on your object and choosing Shade Smooth. Probably something that you want to keep in mind when working with our characters. Doing this will shade the object, but you want to make sure that you've got a rendered view. So right-click, select the object, right-click, Shade Smooth if you would please. That way we can get a real nice, clean smoothing group on our characters. Pretty commonly used there. So there you have it.